Well, hello Monterey Bay Christian Center family. We're sending out this video to just you guys. It's not appearing on social media anywhere, just going out to our members and attenders so we can update you on things here at the church. As always, we're here to help anybody that might have some kind of need come up during this crazy pandemic that we're all going through. But I specifically wanted to address what many of you, or maybe most of you, have heard by now, and that's the possibility that Susan and I might begin to transition out as lead pastors of this church. I want to stress that nothing's been decided. Everything is still up in the air. This virus, of course, has just messed with everybody's timelines and even possibilities of what might happen. But it's important for you to know, as I stressed to our members at our business meeting a couple of weeks ago, that Susan and I have not been looking to leave. We've not been floating resumes. We've not been trying to find churches that had needs. One thing about Susan and I that hopefully you've come to know is that we just want to do whatever it is that God calls us to do. Our definition of success is following His plan and His purpose for our lives. And sometimes that's been difficult. Sometimes that's been very hard to understand, both for us and for those around us. But the quick story is, a church that Susan and I were worship pastors at, we started there 21 years ago. We were there for about 4 years, and then leadership changed and God began to move on our hearts that He had more for us to learn at another location in preparation for us to become senior pastors. And so after 4 years of making good friends and having just a wonderful time of ministry there, God moved us on and He grew us up and He led us on this journey that ended up with us becoming senior pastors back in 2006. And we've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've only ever wanted to do what God has called us to do. When God led us here 4 years ago, we had no timetable in mind. We had no plan to leave or look for anything else. To be quite honest, we're very content living here. God has seen our church through a lot in the last 4 years, and we had no idea that God might begin to change our season. A few months ago, we were contacted by some people in the church in Tennessee, letting us know that there was a senior pastor vacancy and asking if we would ever consider coming back. I have to be honest, my initial response was no. We'd come through a lot here at our church, we had turned a corner, the Spirit's moving, and we're just so excited about what God's doing right here on the peninsula. But then, as I've joked with several people, we made the mistake of praying about it. And over a series of events, it became clear to us that God wanted us to investigate this process and see if that's what He had in mind for our next season of ministry. I want to be very clear that our board has been aware of this. Nothing's been done in secret. Normally, you don't normally tell a church until things are farther down the road, but I and the board both believe that our church is spiritually mature enough to walk through this process with us. Because in reality, church, none of us belong to each other. We all belong to Him. And He chooses to put us where He wants us, and our job is just to be obedient. So where are we in the process now? That board has selected us as the nominees to be senior pastors of that church in Tennessee. We still have to be voted on by the congregation, and quite honestly, the way their bylaws and things are set up, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to be confirmed as senior pastor of that church. So we've laid this all in God's hands. If that's where He wants us, then we expect a yes vote. If that's not where He wants us and had us involved in this process for some other reason, then we expect a no vote. And either way, we're content with what happens because we know that we belong to the Lord. Now that said, I want you to know that the board has already begun planning for a transition process here. There's not going to be avoiding leadership. We're praying about several possibilities for the way things might work out, and at the appropriate time, we will share what we think God is doing here at Monterey Bay Christian Center should the day come that Susan and I would transition out. Church, nothing ever takes God by surprise. He sees everything coming, and He always has a plan for what we don't even know is going to transpire yet. I also want you to know that because of this virus, there is currently no vote scheduled in Tennessee. They're going to have to delay it because they're not meeting just like we're not meeting. This has kind of changed everything. But I got to tell you, as your pastor, while I don't believe for a second that God brought this virus on us, I do believe that God redeems things and He uses them for our good. And I think that this time apart is helping us to realize how valuable our time is together. And it's giving an opportunity for some emotions to calm and let the Holy Spirit speak peace and comfort to our hearts. So we'll talk more in the days ahead. but the board and I wanted to give you an update just so there was no confusion and everybody had a clear mind about where we are in this process. If you have any questions at all, you can contact the church office or you can contact me directly using the email that you see on the screen. You can call the church office, ask for me. I'd be glad to talk to you. Nothing's being done in secret. Everything is out here for us all to do, really, church, what Christians should do, which is pray for each other as we try to discern God's will for our lives, to lift each other up, to support each other, and to love each other no matter what. I realize for some of you that the idea of a pastoral transition may be kind of difficult to even wrap your head around. You didn't see it coming. Well, we didn't either. And maybe it won't happen at all. But sometimes God allows us to go through a process because of what it does inside of us. And other times He leads us through a process because there is a different destination at the end of the road. So just know we're praying for you, we're here for you, and every single second that we have as pastors of this church, we don't take for granted. We count them as a blessing. And we're blessed to help lead you through this crazy time that we're all experiencing. We hope to see you online on Church on Sunday. Just head to the website, nbccag.org. All the options for viewing the service are right there on the home page. If we can serve you, please let us know. Hopefully, we'll see you soon, but for sure, we'll see you online. God bless.